I'd like to preface my speech with what Emma Gonzalez said. We call. It's so sad that kids are dying in schools because lawmakers don't want to do anything. I would like to say this. You probably have heard about what's going on, and that Republican senators are actually calling kids schools to get them in trouble for preaching their mind, for saying what needs to be said. But let me tell all of you one thing. They cannot suspend us all, and they can't call all of our schools. The one word that I'll use for our lawmakers is disgusting. I just like to say that all of you here today, it's amazing for what you're doing. This is what creates change. This is what democracy looks like. And to all the lawmakers, like Emma Gonzalez said, we call. Now, I love all of your signs, and a lot of them are definitely getting to me. I love the one that says life over guns here up in the front, because it's honestly the truth. The Second Amendment doesn't state an age limit, right? We should be able to raise that, get rid of bump stocks, and stop kids from dying in schools. I would like to ask you all this question. What other developed nation in the entire world has as many school shootings? We call. I'd just like to thank all of you one more time for all of the support that you've been giving me. I've been getting hate messages online, people threatening me. Disgusting is the word I'll use again. Sorry. What you can all do is very, very important, okay? All of you have a voice, and that voice needs to be heard. All of you should be calling your representatives. All of you should be marching. All of you should be spreading the message. And the message is this. The message is we call. We call. We call. Thank you.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Louder! Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running
was the first shooting to ever affect me. I was in grade 4 and I remember having a lockdown drill. I remember being told that we had to be prepared, but not what we had to be prepared for, because I was just a mere 10 years old and they didn't want to tell me the dangers of going to school, of wanting to get a better life for myself. My mom was scared to send me to school, wanted to pull me out. I did not connect to any of the victims firsthand because I was sheltered from the fact that children 3 grades below me had been taken from this earth, their innocence robbed from them. Later, I would hear about a shooting at a movie theater and I wouldn't understand the reasoning or understand that someone could have that much hate in their heart. In a twisted game of cards, growing up, I was taught through the action of international incidents that people just have hate and there's no way to prevent it. See, we're taught about terrorists and wars in schools, but not about the bullet holes in people who didn't do anything wrong. The Pulse shooting is the one I remember most vividly. I went through the people hurt and the people killed, and I found myself terrified to be a member of the LGBT community because apparently you can get killed just for being yourself. Throughout the years, I was convinced that there was going to be change, that the adults would somehow find a way to fix the issue, that the abusive relationship of mass shootings in the world would somehow be fixed like the snap of some fingers or the pull of a trigger. But as always, there was no change to come and more people were hurt, and I was then connecting with people older and younger than me, terrified to go to school, to church, to the club, or to even leave our own houses. Fast forward to 2017 and I heard about a mass shooting at a country music festival. It's a sick joke turned bad because people use music as their escape, and in their escape their lives were taken. Yet again, nothing was changed, and I was left even more enraged because how many people have to die to get the point across that by just ignoring an issue, it will not go away. I then threw myself into school, avoiding things like violence in the news because I was so angry. Because I was so angry that things like this could happen but be ignored. On Valentine's Day, I watched as kids my age in Florida ran from an active shooter. My worst fears were realized because I saw myself in their shoes, and the next day I began evaluating my life and everything to come along with it. I realized that my school had never had a lockdown drill, and that in the event of an active shooter, we wouldn't be able to hide because of all of the glass. We were grossly underprepared, and I was left even more scared to attend a school that I had begged my parents to let me go to. Over the next few days, I wanted to do something, so I was evaluating everything. I noticed that the gun area in Walmart is right next to the kids' toys, and that our president doesn't really care about the bullet holes, no, only about his political agenda.
Yeah!
I do not understand how we can live in a world where kids are being killed, adults are losing their lives, and the only thing our president has to say is, my thoughts and prayers. I do not understand how we can live, I do not understand how with lives being lost, people can blame the victims who by law are required to attend school. Our society is insanity because of people being killed, there has been no change, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We have been avoiding this for far too long, and change has got to come. But not after the next mass shooting, not after more lives are taken. Change has got to come swiftly and fast, because we are standing up, because we are done waiting for action when we know no action will come. Thank you.
Un minuto para agradecer a todos ustedes por quedarse aquí con nosotros, porque eso es muy importante.
1,624 in 1,870 days. That's 9 shootings every 10 days. The only things our government has given us are thoughts and prayers and excuses that gun violence is not a direct effect of our lack of gun control laws, but of violent video games. We're living in a reality where the NRA has more power over our lives and safety than any other group in the nation. We are living in a reality where your ability to own a weapon of mass destruction is more valued than our right to earn an education without fear. Than our right to be ourselves without worry that the largest shooting in the United States will take place purely regarding gun control debates will not make the debates go away, but only increase the frequency at which our fellow Americans die. Our goddamn president's tweets of wisdoms will do nothing if action is not taken. Calling each shooting a terrible tragedy which never should have happened does nothing to bring victims back to life and does nothing to remove horrible memories from the minds of survivors. Their words mean nothing. They don't give a fuck about us. The inaction of the government has led us to fight for our very lives, an inalienable right guaranteed to us by our Constitution. This is not a time to stay silent. This is the time to fight. This is the time to yell and scream and be angry. There's a point where being delicate about our political situation stops working. This is it. When children are leading the revolution to prevent their friends from ending up lifeless in classrooms and hallways, it's time to fight. When the media keeps telling us that white terrorists are misunderstood, upstanding members of society who just happen to crack under pressure and fire their first gun, it's time to fight! When I'm told that I'm an underinformed teenager who doesn't understand politics or the debates of our country, it's time to fight. When money matters more than people, it's time to fight. How many more deaths will it take? How many more lies, denials, and displays of ignorance before policies are put in place to protect the people from gun violence? To those who have failed us as a country and as living, breathing human beings and continue to fail us with each day of inaction, I want you to know that my mom's sign out there says, I want my kids to live in a world where guns are harder to obtain than Hamilton tickets. So remember that history has its eyes on you. That we've come to the point of gun control or death. That we are angry. That we will not lay down our lives without a fight. That we will vote and protest and march and write until you care about the people you were elected to protect. I'm really hoping I'm not layering everywhere. I'll leave you with this request. If I die in a mass shooting, forget burial. Just drop my body on the steps of the NRA.
My name is Riley. I'm a student at Bellinghurst Middle School, and I have a few questions for the adults in the crowd. Did you grow up fearing for your life when you went to school? I am. Did you grow up thinking of every possible escape route from your classroom? I am. Did you grow up when school shootings ravaged the country almost regularly? I am. Did you grow up knowing your teachers might have to sacrifice their life just to save yours? I am. Did you grow up in fear? We are. By going out to vote, you can make the change that we so desperately need. You can change this. You can fix this. Riley! 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 Riley!
Hi. I haven't really spoken much places before, so I'm sorry. But this is my perspective as a student, which I know already was done, but maybe mine's a little bit more unique than, or mine's unique to me, I guess. Yeah. Woo! Growing up in an America where guns are seen as more of a priority than children's lives, I remember the first time a school shooting affected me. I was 11 years old, still in the first semester of 6th grade, when my mother had informed me that 20 children had died in Newton, Connecticut. At 11 years old, I was
taught what to do if someone decided to shoot up my school. That if I had to run away, to run in zigzags so it would be harder to aim at my prepubescent body. That the safest place to hide in a classroom was behind the teacher's metal desk. That if my peers were being massacred besides me, I should play dead because the perpetrator probably wouldn't double tap the bodies on the ground. Me and my friends kept ketchup packets in our back pockets in case we needed fake blood to convince a hypothetical killer we were dead. This was also the year I had my first real code red, as a stranger was on and around school grounds bearing arms. By 12 years old, a shooting happened in my town, and while it wasn't my school, I still remember the day. I was in 4th period art. Phones around me rang and buzzed at the cry of fellow middle schoolers sending their loved ones prayers for survival. Sparks Middle School, a mere 11-minute drive from where I was, had 2 people killed and 2 others injured. I was petrified at the time, but now when I bring up what happened, no one even bats an eye. In fact, no one bats an eye when I mention any of the shootings anymore. Most of my peers don't even recall the Pine Middle School shooting. They seem typical now, easily forgotten. We say our thoughts and prayers for a day, and quicker than the epidemic began, we brush it away from ourselves because no one wants to realize that there's a problem. I am done with thoughts and prayers. They do not change laws. They do not change the fact that there have been 2 middle school shootings in my area in my lifespan. I'm only 17. There shouldn't be 2 shootings filling that time. I'm now a junior in high school. I look at my peers as both future victims and future villains. I look at these freshmen on my bus bragging about their parents' gun ownership and how much experience they have behind a machine made to kill. My school has had 2 code reds in the 2.5 years I've been attending. We have multiple shooting threats a year, and my school does nothing to help prevent this. I watch my friends have panic attacks under desks in the dark, while the desensitized seniors merely sit on their phones and text their parents a warning about the theoretical gun down. My mom worries about me and begs me to recluse under the shield of online schooling, and I have deeply, deeply considered it. Every day I think about how the likelihood of my school being next is uncomfortably grand. I think about how easy it is to gun and how my school never locks their doors. Even at night, the front door's unlocked. How many angry students, staff, and strangers there are, and I know every single student in America has had similar thoughts like this. Had thought about maybe we're next. We live in an America I do not want my little sister to grow up in. She is only 5 years old. She's going into kindergarten next year, and I'm already worrying. Washoe County School District has done nothing to protect its students. In fact, they tried to silence us during the walkout. They threatened us with truancy. In my school, we were locked in the courtyard to try and draw ourselves away from public attention. My school tried to silence our remembrance of death, decay, and a hope for a new tomorrow. I want my sister to grow up in something better. I want her to not be afraid of dying in a place that is supposed to protect her. I don't want her carrying ketchup in her back pockets, or to panic under desks, or to think about the inevitability of a shooting at her school, or to know that her government cares more about money and a trigger than her life. Things need to change, and they need to change now. For me, for my sister, for my generation, and every generation behind it. Thank you. That's all.
Emotional for me as well. First off, and paramount, I am so proud of all of us being here. I want to thank the Young Democrats for having us. As she said, my name's Jency Fagan. On March 14th, 2006, a student brought a gun to my school, Pine. 2 students were shot. A second shooting at Sparks Middle, October 21st, 2013. 2 people were killed. The perpetrator and a student or a teacher named Mr. L or Mr. Lansbury. 2 other individuals were shot. Okay, I'll get louder, thank you. Washoe County School District, from what I understand, is the only district in the nation to have 2 separate incidents of shots fired. As someone trained to educate, who lived through this now all too common occurrence, I have a multi-strategy idea to make differences. First, there should be funding for realistic class size as well as case size. For teachers, counselors, and now we have social workers. Teachers are individuals who see these students daily, in class as well as in the halls, monitoring, watching, talking, and holding them accountable for their words and deeds. Teachers regularly deal with confidential information on students. However, often at schools, teachers are not told about students who have volatile or combative issues, and this can compromise student safety as well as teachers' safety. School police at school should be a ratio of 1 to 500 at all schools, K through 12. We should have trained individuals that regularly prepare for situations instead of arming teachers who are responsible for curriculum. This curriculum that we offer makes students college and career ready. Teachers get wallets stolen, phones stolen. To now have us do more, why not fund us with the tools we need? Books, class size. Locking doors are just some of the issues. Why arm teachers when the solution already exists? Fund for more trained school police. Safe classrooms that we can lock from the inside and outside. Some schools at this time in Washoe County have doors that cannot be locked from the outside. Some schools have multi-entry points. Doors open out for fire code. Thus, barricading a door is futile since the door opens out of the classroom. Offer and improved teacher preparations for shots fired other than lights off, be quiet, hiding, and emails. I have a book by Joseph Walker, a past Reno police officer, who discussed with Superintendent Hager a plan for school shootings. Please understand, he offered this prior to Columbine. Wow. Mr. Walker has also offered to the current superintendent assistance, universal background checks, no loopholes. Why have a loophole other than to sell more guns versus sell guns responsibly? Make bump stocks illegal. Bump stocks make a semi-automatic weapon automatic. Why does a civilian need a large magazine clip? Studies show individuals' frontal lobes responsible for cognitive thought are not developed till age 24. This means emotions drive an individual more than logical thought. Change the age of purchasing a gun at least to 21 instead of 18. This medal, which was presented to me by the Congressional Medal of Honor Society for going above and beyond. I wasn't planning to release my name after the Pine shooting, but a history teacher told me people need to realize just what teachers are willing to do for our students. The society has a developmental program free for K through 12, available for schools to teach integrity, honor, commitment, selflessness. This character trait, I believe, should be implemented in our social emotional learning and instruction. Lastly, and most important, please, we need to listen to students. These are examples of things Pine Middle School students gave me. I want to applaud the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas students for speaking out and starting this change. The Sandy Hook students were too young to be heard. I believe more individuals are now listening because of Washoe, Douglas, Carson, and Story counties, and these students will not be denied.
Hello, Reno! Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that we have so many people here for this amazing event. I just want to say thank you all from the bottom of my heart. So I actually want to talk about a couple things, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for this event, we want to make it as intersectional as possible. And so we've talked about teen suicides, we've talked about mass shootings, we've talked about poor gun safety, we've talked about domestic violence, and so I want to talk about mental health, and I want to talk about race. So first, for me, my day job, I am a caregiver. I take care of people with mental and physical disabilities. And so I cannot begin to explain how frustrating it is when I hear people say, we need to take guns out of the hands of the mentally ill. Why? Because the mentally ill are more likely the victims of gun violence than they're the perpetrators. It frustrates me that one of the first bills that our president has signed, and that's the first time I've ever mentioned him as our president, so let me take a second here. One of the first things that he signed into law was a bill allowing people with severe mental illness to buy a gun. For those of you who aren't familiar with the business that I work in, people with severe mental illness are declared legally incompetent. So what that means is that legally they are considered minors. So these are people who can't write a check, they can't sign anything. When they go to the doctor, they need a guardian to fill their paperwork, but now they can go out and buy a gun. And so I want us to make sure that we are not stigmatizing people with mental illness, because they are the victims more than they are the perpetrators, for one. And two, we need to make sure that we're protecting everybody in our society regardless of their ability to participate. Second thing that I want to talk about is race. And this is often a theme that I feel is left out of these debates, and I'm so glad that the Parkland students have been calling out the mainstream media about this issue. I didn't realize that Parkland was 25% African American. I didn't realize that because of the press coverage that Parkland has got, has just been mainly the white students, and Emma Gonzalez. And so I think that it is a shame for people to be leaving out students of color when we have students in Oakland, we have students in Chicago who can't go to school because they're being shut up in their schools. They're being shut up in their living rooms. They're being shut up on the way to the grocery store. We have kids, exactly. The incident where in Sacramento, where we had an unarmed man trying to get into his grandparents' house who got shut up. We need to be talking about gun violence as it pertains to everybody. We need to be holding everybody accountable. So I still remember his name, to be honest. Yeah. And yeah, that's shame on me, but at the same time, there are so many of these individuals that even for me, it's hard to keep track. There are so many names that we have to remember because so many people are being shot down for no good reason in this country that it's hard to keep track of all of them. And that is a shame. Now, I do want to give a shout out to Reno PD. They have made a great job making sure that we are all safe. And I really want to give a shout out to all the good police officers that are out there.
Yes.
So I am actually a Nigerian American. And so my experience in this country is different from most African Americans because my parents actually came here of their own free will. And so I have to deal with the issues of gun violence because a bad cop can't tell the difference between Nakia and Uzomaka. They can't tell the difference between Deshaun and Chikeze. So I need to know how to protect myself if I get pulled over by the cops. I need to know, okay, so do I say yes, sir? Do I say no, sir? How do I respond? How do I make sure that I am being as amazing or as polite as I can be? Thank you. And it's a shame that we have to give our kids this additional talk where we have to tell them about the birds and the bees, but then for black kids, we have to tell them about what to do when you get pulled over by the police. And so I would ask that when you guys go out there and vote, when you go out there and contact your elected representatives, that you keep in mind that gun violence is intersectional, that every single one of our lives are important.
Yeah.
To kind of go ahead and go over some things. One, we would like to go ahead and thank the WEA, the Washoe County Education Association, for helping us today.
Antes de terminar, quiero agradecer a Washoe Education Association y WEA. No, the other one.
Yeah, the one I said.
Okay. Washoe Education Association para ayudarnos con ese esfuerzo.
I would also like to go ahead and take a moment to go ahead and give another shout out to Moms Demand Action, Nevada Gun Safety Coalition, and the Brady Campaign. They are doing amazing work nationwide. And if you are looking for any organizations to donate to them. They have been amazing. Yeah. Especially in the Nevada Gun Safety Coalition, they are the local gun safety coalition in the state that is working to go ahead and provide gun safety regulation within this state. So please, go ahead and look them up, get involved, and go ahead and try and make a difference within your state.